Hi, this is Cindy, and this is part 4 of the shed project. So I have my shed drawing here, and I'm going to be adding some stairs and railings to my little deck. So first, to create the stairs, I want to be sure that I'm on grade because I'm always going from the bottom level of where my stairs start to where they end. So I'm going from grade to my floor level. So I want to be sure that I'm on my grade level, and then that is in bold print over here, meaning that I have it selected. I'm then going to select stair, and I'm going to select the second one, stair by sketch. And so I'm just going to select that. And right now I have my standard 7-inch riser, 11-inch tread stairs here, and I'm just going to make some modifications to them. So I'm going to select edit type under the properties, and I'm going to duplicate my set of stairs. So I'm going to select duplicate, and I'm going to say decking stair. And I'm just going to make a few modifications to what the stairs look like. So I'm going to change my tread material by clicking on the dot, dot, dot. That opens my material browser, and I'm going to find my decking that I used earlier, and I'm just going to highlight that and say OK. My riser material, I'm not going to have a riser, so I'm just going to leave that blank. And then under my stringer material, again, I'm going to select the dot, dot, dot for that, and I'm going to select my decking and say OK. And then I'm going to scroll down here and just remove the risers. So under the risers category, I'm going to just change that. Instead of right now it says straight under riser type, I'm going to change that to none. And then the last thing I'm going to change is under stringers, the very top item, and trim stringers at top. Instead of do not trim, I'm going to match level. Okay, so I'm just going to say OK. And then the last thing I need to change is just the width of my stairs. The standard width is always 3 feet. These are going to be 8 feet because they're going to match the size of my deck. And so I'm going to change my width on my stairs there to 8 feet. And then I'm just going to come over here, and you can see that I have some little tiny letters following me around as soon as I click on the screen that says 3 risers created, 0 remaining. If I had only created 1, if I pulled back here, it would say, 2 risers created, 1 remaining. So I need to pull all the way through so that I have it say 3 risers created, 0 remaining. And then I'm just going to move it into place here so that it lines up with my deck. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the check because I'm done making my stairs. And it's put on the stairs and the railings there for me. And again, if I look at my 3D view slowly, you can see that I now have my shed with doors and windows, and now I also have stairs with railings. Now the other thing that this project has is it has some square timber columns, and it has a beam out here, and then it has railings along the side. So first we're going to put in those columns so that we have something for both of the railings to kind of dive into. And so we're going to put those in under column, and then column architectural, the second one. The only one that's loaded in here is a 24 by 24 inch column, not timber, and so we're going to load family over here on the right. I'm then going to come down my list of elements that I have all the way down to structural elements. So I'm going to select structural columns, and I'm going to select wood, and I'm going to select timber column, and I'm going to say open. It's going to give me some information about different types of sizing for those columns. I'm just going to say OK. And yes. So in order to place the columns, I'm going to select under column, and I'm going to select structural column. And right now the only type of column that's located in here is a W wide flange column, and so I need to load the family of the timber column that I want to use. So I have my green modify place structural column. I'm going to say load family, and then I'm going to scroll down to structural elements here, structural columns, and wood, and then I'm going to select timber column, and I'm going to select open, and it's going to give me this information here on a 5x5, 6x6, all these different sizes of columns that are available in what I'm currently downloading. And so I'm going to say OK. And then you can see I have a 5x5 column following me around, which is the one I want, and I'm just going to place that. And it tells me when I place it that none of the elements that I've placed are visible in plan, and I believe that's because I have placed it on grade instead of on floor. And then I'm going to select my second one and put in my structural column over here in the corner. And I'm just going to copy that to the end. Okay, and then I want to be able to have those line up. So I'm going to bring that in onto my decking there. And the second one. Okay. Then I want to add a little bit of railing to finish this off, and I want to modify this other railing so that it hits my column. So I'm going to select railing and then sketch path. We're not going to change anything about the railing for right now. We're just going to leave it the standard one it is. I'm going to just draw a straight line from the center of that column to the wall, and I'm going to hit check. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And you can only do one of them at a time because you can only do railings that are connected to each other. And so I'm going to, again, draw that straight line in from my column to the wall and hit check. And I'm going to modify these other ones that they run so that they dive right into my column. So I'm going to select my railing piece here, and I'm going to say edit path. And I'm just going to take that and just extend it so that it is running into my column, and I'm going to say check. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to select my railing, edit path on top, select that purple magenta line, and just stretch it out so that it runs into my column. And I'm going to hit check. And so there I have stairs and railings. And again, if I look at my 3D view, now I have railings and I have my columns, which are in the ground, so I need to change that. So I'm going to go back to my floor view. I'm going to select my structural column here. And right now the base offset is set at -9 feet. I have no idea why that is. But I'm going to change that to 0 because these particular columns are going to be set on a footing. And then so that it's going, instead of from floor to floor, I'm going to be having that go from floor to roof bearing. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to select that, go from floor to roof bearing, and change the offset to 0.